Good evening. I'm Vinawin Putri Negari. I'm an internal resident from University of 11 Maret Surakarta. Today, I will present my case report with title 40 years old female with diffuse systemic sclerosis, hospital-acquired pneumonia, history of pulmonary tuberculosis, and left parapneumonic effusion. As we know, systemic sclerosis is a connective tissue disease with affect skin, blood vessel, heart, lung, kidneys, gastrointestinal tract, and musculoskeletal system. With regard to infectious disease, patients with systemic sclerosis are at an increased risk of infection due to the disease itself, mainly respiratory tract infection. It's a multiple disciplinary disease and requires a holistic approach. Accompanying infection create a more challenging the treatment decision. So the case illustration is 47-year-old female came with a complaint of shortness of breath in 4 days before admission. She was referred from private hospital and had been treated for 2 weeks. She admitted cough and fever for since 4 days before refer. Water shield drainage was inserted before the refer with clear yellow fluid production. She had history of tuberculosis medication for 6 months, 2 years before admission, and was declared finished. She often complained pain and rigidity emanating from fingers for both arms and worsened in cold weather for the last 3 years. She also had difficulty in opening her mouth since a year before admission. And for the physical examination, as you can see in figure 1 and figure 2, we discovered lip tightening with pursed lip appearance, sclerodactyly, and we also noticed salt and pepper appearance on patient back. On the thorax examination, we heard decrease of vesicular sound with dual percussion sound on the left side of the chest. Pleural fluid analysis showed that its exudate from the anal profile was positive on anti-SGI-70, supporting systemic sclerosis. And from the skin biopsy also dissipated of systemic sclerosis appearance. This patient was diagnosed with diffuse systemic sclerosis, hospital-acquired pneumonia, history of tuberculosis, left parapneumonic pleural effusion, and given double antibiotic. It's a levofloxacin and ampicillin. And also we give her immunosuppressant, is a methotrexate and methylprednisolone, and had significant progression. So the discussion of this case, patient from the examination and laboratory, and as well as radiological findings, is supporting lung infection diagnosis with a left pleural infusion. Water shield drainage was performed and maintained for 9 years. And as you can see in figure 3, the total of the fluid for 9 days is 820 cc of fluid. We also give her ampicillin 1 gram every 6 hours as an empirical antibiotic, and levofloxacin 750 milligram injection every 24 hours due to the possibility of MRSA infection. During the treatment, patient diagnosed with systemic sclerosis and classified diffuse cutaneous systemic sclerosis characterized by the rapid and progressive tightening of the skin with internal organ involvement. Management of systemic sclerosis is a multidisciplinary, so all involved organs must be examined. The principle of the therapy is aimed at improving the general condition by taking into account the factor nutrition, hygiene, and psychological support. Furthermore, therapy is aimed at three pathogenetic compartments, namely vasculopathy disorder, immunology, and fibrosis. The patient was treated with nifedipine for its vasodilating and vascular remodeling effect. Antifibrotic is aspirin, and also omeprazole for gastrointestinal complaint. Immunosuppression therapy administers as methotrexate, and it produces significant effect on the skin tightening and lung function. The conclusion of the case is infection are growing concern in the management of systemic sclerosis, as evidence suggests them as a rising cause of admission and mortality. Patients with systemic sclerosis present higher risk infection due to the structural damage of the disease and immunosuppressive treatment. In a complex and chronic disease such as systemic sclerosis, multiple drug therapy will probably necessary, and more than one antibacterial agent might eventually prove more beneficial. Appropriate diagnosis and treatment may improve the outcome. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you.